Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mack's Hunting Outdoors. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a better rabbit trap. Now this, I'm going to take the door off of it. I've built a bunch of these in the past. There's your trigger stick. See, it has a notch in it. You can use a dowel, but I like using hickory wood for the fork in the middle. That's the fork right there. I like using hickory. You can use a dowel, but I'm telling you, hickory, go get it out of the woods, off a tree, a limb. It's easier to carve that notch, but you can use a dowel. I'll have all the sizes. I talk about it in the video, the size of the door, the size of the box, everything. But this is 1x6 pine. And the big thing too is you want the bottom actually all on the bottom with the sides on top of the bottom. If you put the sides all the way over here, it makes it wider and shorter. And a rabbit can get in a narrow spot. I've seen them go through my fence that wide. I've got a wood fence over there. So you want this thing more tall than it is wide. So put the side pieces on top of the bottom to make it taller. I like dowels here instead of using a piece of, cutting a piece of this pine or whatever you're using, because I found these dowels do not crack over time. Now eventually everything's going to go to waste, but when this thing falls, the rabbit can't push out. There's a dowel on the bottom too. That's a 1/2-inch dowel. Now if you do have problems, I didn't do it on this one, if you do have problems with predators trying to push it in, what you can do is drill a hole in each side a little behind the door and stick a dowel in there and glue it. So there's just a nub sticking out just about that far on each side, so when a predator tries to push a door in, it won't go any farther back. But not doing this on this one. But anyway, guys, let's go to the video. I'm going to show you how to make this, and then we'll go to the outro. Okay, the bottom and the two sides have to be 24 inches long. So we're going to cut 3 pieces 24 inches long. So mark that. Take your square, do all that good. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. It is a rabbit trap. Now this is one of the best things I've ever bought. It's this Milwaukee 18-volt circular saw. Try to cut this left-handed. So the bottom just so the top just needs to be 1 inch shorter. So that's going to be 23. Guys, I love this Workmate bench. I'll put a link to this saw and the Workmate bench in the description. Guys, I'm going to use these 1.5-inch nails. Now if you're using only nails, you probably want to use a 2-inch nail at least, but I'm going to put some screws in this. So I'm just going to put it together with some Now this is going to be the bottom, so you want to make sure the sides are on top of the bottom and not on the side of it. That makes a taller trap. It makes it narrower, but that makes it taller. So you'd rather it be taller than narrow. You know what, I'm just going to use nails. These nails are fine. I thought they might be a little too short, but use what you got to save money. Now I bought this lumber last night at Home Depot, but you can use pallets. Usually pallets, the lumber's 4 inches wide, but I've seen some pallets every now and then that have 6-inch wide lumber. So if you can find a pallet like that, that's good. Alright guys, so now we want to put the top on. So we'll get it right perfect. It's a rabbit trap. It's not something you're giving your wife, making for somebody else. I had one nail come out the side because of a knot, but it's fine. Like I said, it's a rabbit trap. Not a fine piece of furniture. Okay guys, the door's got to be 7 inches tall, because that's what that is across the back. 7 inches from top to bottom. Okay, now we're going to put the back on. Now the door, you just need taller than this, so we're just going to make it 7 inches, same as the back. But remember what you want to do, the bottom, you want to cover the whole bottom, so the sides, you want to be on top of the bottom, not on the side, because then it's a wider, shorter thing, where rabbits don't have a problem going through something narrow. So you want this thing more narrow than it is wide, so put the sides on top of the bottom. And it has to be 4 inches wide. So we've got to cut this 7-inch tall piece down to 4 inches. That's perfect. You can use a nail, but I prefer an eye screw. This one is 1 inch long, so any small one will do. Okay, we got this thing started, so we just want to turn it in there. There we go, right there. Now we got to fix the front. And I'll show you how we're going to do that in just a second. Okay guys, some people take a piece of this scrap wood and put a piece across there, but small wood like that tends to crack. I like a hardwood dowel. This is a 1/2 inch hardwood dowel. So this is 5.5 inches across there. So we're going to cut it 5.5 inches, drill holes in the end and put it there. Let me go slow and easy. There we go. Good. Okay, you don't want to split this dowel, so I'm going to... This is a 3/32 drill bit. I've got a hole in each end. There you go. Now you can see. So how do you keep it coming out? You could put a piece of wood right there, but they break as well. Okay, to keep the door from being pushed out, we're going to put another piece right here. So now when the rabbit or whatever you catch pushes out, it can't come out. Now we got the box built. You got to have a fork stick right here, and you got to have a trigger hole and a trigger stick right here. So the trigger stick hole is going to be 5.5 inches back, and the hole for the fork stick is going to be 14 inches back. So we're going 5.5, and we're going 14 right there. The one don't have to be clean, but that back one needs to be clean. Your fork stick is to the fork pretty much a foot tall. Total length is 14 inches. Got it tapered at the bottom. Now I like using hickory. You can use whatever wood you want, but I like using hickory. So got that right there. Okay guys, that old rod across the top has seen better days. I've had it for a long time on another old trap that's no good anymore. So we're going to cut a dowel for this. But see, I like to use hickory if you do use wood. We want to drill a hole in each end. The trigger stick is 9.5 inches long. You can make it 10 inches long, doesn't matter. But the notch needs to be pretty much 5 inches from the bottom to the top. So it goes like this. We got to tie this to the door. Now you'll just have to fiddle with the So you just have to play with the cord. I like green twine. That's what I like for it, green masonry twine. Okay guys, you put bait in the very back of the trap. Apples, they even like canned corn, but apples is good. Pretend this is a rabbit. There you go. And when he pushes out, can't get out. Alright everyone, hope you enjoyed this video. Love these rabbit traps. You can bait them using apples. I've actually caught rabbits on canned corn trying to catch coons when that's all I had for bait. Caught a lot of rabbits with canned corn. This trigger might need adjusting a little bit. There we go. One more look. But anyway, I love trapping with these. Now also, one thing I failed to mention in the beginning, the back is solid. Rabbits don't mind going in a dark spot, but on some of my traps I have drilled holes about that big. I put about 3 holes in the back, but if I do that, you've got to do that before you nail it on, and you've got to put a piece of wire, hardware cloth, 1/2-inch hardware cloth over the back so it can't get out or want to chew through them holes. But that does help sometimes, but most of the time you don't need it. Solid back is fine. But anyway guys, let me know what you think. Let me know about you building one, and thanks guys. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It's going to be right there. Check out my squirrel or rabbit hunting, my small game playlist right there, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.